Hey y'all, it's Rick here with Uncommon Communion, and I am back from a really enjoyable 4th of July weekend. I hope you read my post yesterday. Yes, I wrote that as I was waiting for the evening's latest act and the fireworks before that to happen. I hope you read that post. I kind of shifted back to the political bent that I have had here on Uncommon Communion. For those of you that come here for the spirituality, I promise we'll get back to that. I promise. I do think there's a spiritual aspect to the World Cup. And yet, today was a good day for that. And today was also a terrible day for that. So, before we go any further, I want to begin as we always begin by recognizing, realizing, celebrating, and affirming that we are always and everywhere in the holy presence of the more and each other. So we are now in the round of 16. So whoever wins goes on to the quarterfinals, round of eight. 8 teams will do that. 8 teams will go home, right? Kind of the sweet 16, if you will, of the March Madness, right? And we've had some banger games. And we also had some off field, I would call them shenanigans. That's, I think, a good word. That I want to talk about right here up front. Because, y'all, this is the story that is going to be in the headlines as we go into Monday's game with the US versus Belgium. And here's the thing, y'all, and here's what's so hard about this. Because I believe that it was the wrong thing for FIFA to overturn that. It was a bad call. It was a terrible call. Rules are rules, and rules have consequences. Missing Flo Balogun, who is truly one of our best players, our top goal scorer to be sure, not having him play against Belgium would have been tough. But you know what, y'all? He didn't play for a quarter or even closer to a third of the game on Monday, or last game, which I guess was last Wednesday. And you know what? We did fine. In fact, we won. Could we beat Belgium without him? I think we could. I think we're going to get a chance to see what it's like with him. And I do think, obviously, it increases our chances. What I think is so problematic about this, y'all, is that it shows the corruption at the international level of FIFA, but it also shows that grubby little dictator that we have running this increasingly fascist government, his intervention. And that's mostly what I want to talk about here, y'all. So, FIFA's corrupt. We know that. It seems with something like this is just another level. And there is precedence. You're going to hear that, Ronaldo had a 3-game suspension he'd only served 1 game, and they overturned that before the World Cup. There has been some precedent. But having the president of the United States of a host nation calling his buddy, because we've seen those pictures, see that picture below the article that I'm sharing, to have him call him up and to put pressure on him, and who knows what else he did. Promises, threats. I mean, with the corruption that we have seen in this government here in the US, anything is possible, right? And for FIFA to give into that, right? And again, as I heard someone said, it is clear that FIFA wants the show and the spectacle over fair play and rules and laws, even as they call them. And here's the thing, y'all, and I don't want to dwell too much on this because I want to talk about the games that have been played already, because I've seen some bangers over the last couple of days. Here's the thing, y'all. I got to be honest with you. I thought Trump would F up this World Cup a lot sooner than he has. He's kept a fairly low profile. He hasn't, gone to games. He hasn't kind of bandwagoned, putting AI of the players, holding him up. Maybe he's sicker than we think. Maybe he's preoccupied with the 250, the algae, and the whatever, right? He's kept his hands off, his grubby little fingers off. But now he has inserted himself in here. And even if mainstream news doesn't want to talk about this, I heard the podcasters Raj and Rory over at Men in Blazers, great respect for them, but they were kind of pussyfooting around the issue here, right? That we have a president of the United States who thinks he can intervene as a mafia boss in anything he wants. And so far, he's been pretty successful at that. And this is just chalk it up to another one, right? So probably more we're going to hear about this story. I hope, God, hope that the U.S. Soccer Federation didn't ask him to do this, but I don't think they needed to, because Trump doesn't care a whit about soccer, a rat's butthole about soccer, right? All he cares about is the U.S. and winning and pride and putting himself in the middle of everything. And here he is. So we'll see how it unfolds. What we do know is it comes on a second day of round of 16 games that have been, for the most part, pretty dang remarkable, right? Saturday, 4th of July for us, you probably weren't watching the scores. You probably weren't watching the games. I was following them on my phone as I was at Summerfest, amazing concert in Milwaukee, festival. And Morocco pretty handily defeated Canada. But the France-Paraguay game was, I guess, a really close game. I didn't watch it, but Paraguay was doing all kinds of, excuse my French on this, y'all, they call it shithousery in soccer. Just going right up to that line, pushing the boundaries, pushing the other players, just trying to get them off their game. And apparently it kind of worked, I guess, right? Kind of worked. And that was really quite something. No yellow cards, apparently, until the very end. France won on a penalty kick. Probably should have put it away sooner, but there you go. I do want to step back a day. I haven't really talked too much about Argentina and Cape Verde, but that seems like a distant past, right? That was just like 48 hours ago. I mean, this World Cup, if anything, has been relentless. It's about to slow down, though, but it has been relentless. What an amazing game. I don't know if you saw my little video that I put out kind of spontaneously. I don't know if it posted properly, but we almost saw the biggest upset in World Cup history. And just watching that game as I did was so memorable. I will never forget it. Would have been even more memorable, of course, if Cape Verde won, but good on them. Good on them for playing their hearts out and leaving it all on the field, as they say. All right, earlier today, I was driving, so I did not watch any of the Norway-Brazil game. But what a game, 2-1. The beast, the Viking, the demigod, Erland Haaland, both goals, and Brazil goes down. This is something like, I saw this graphic, this is something like the 6th World Cup in a row that France has been knocked out. Or excuse me, not France, pardon me. Brazil has been knocked out by a European team, the first European team they played in the knockout rounds, right? So here you go, right? Brazil beat Japan, and here comes Norway, knocks them out. And then the last game of the day, the one that just ended a little bit ago, England versus Mexico. Wow, wow, wow. Just watching that, the environment, the grit, the saves that the English keeper made. I mean, just really, really incredible. And I'm sad. I wanted to see Mexico win. I got my host shirt on here. I don't know if I've worn this on camera before, but we got Canada, US, of course, and there's Mexico right down there. And sadly, y'all, 2 of the 3 hosts have been eliminated. All 3 hosts made it into this round of 16, but so far, 2 are knocked out. US, man, we are rooting for you to go forward. Hopefully not follow the fate of our other 2 co-hosts. In tomorrow's other game, US-Belgium, 8 p.m. Watch it, celebrate. We'll see how it goes. But Portland, Portugal, and Spain should also be a banger. Iberian Peninsula, those 2 teams have played quite a bit. Spain is definitely favored, and we'll see if they knock Portugal out. And here's the thing, y'all, the way the brackets are lined up, whoever wins US Belgium plays winner of Portugal Spain. So that will be on the 10th, which will be Friday at 3 p.m. So hopefully we will be in that game. Nevertheless, that game will be played by someone. Also, looking ahead before we wrap up here in the brackets, we have on the other side of the bracket. So on our side of the bracket, we have France and Morocco that will be playing on Thursday of this week. We're still waiting for our other game, the quarters, the Portugal Spain versus US Belgium. The other side of the bracket, we have Norway and England. Should be a great game. That's going to be on July 11th. They're playing one game a day for the quarters, it looks like. And then we have the last one. Actually, it looks like it is two games on the 11th, which would be Saturday. On the 11th, we will have Argentina, Egypt winner versus Switzerland, Colombia winner. So we'll see who makes it to the round of 8. And I will be back with you tomorrow, Monday evening, and we'll see how it goes. Could be tears of sadness that the U.S. has gone home, even though we are at home, of course, or it could be tears of joy that we have made it to the round of 8 quarterfinals for the first time in a very long time, about 24 years to be exact. All right, y'all, I appreciate your watching. Glad to be back with you. We are in the home stretch. The final game of the World Cup is 2 weeks from Sunday. The day just passed, and things are going to intensify, but also spread out a little bit game-wise. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Blessing and good. Be bold, be well, hold fast, y'all.